Now, back to Voltron, defender of the universe.
Welcome, Voltron fans, to the 12th anniversary of Let's Voltron, the official Voltron podcast. I'm here with a huge amount of people, but first I got to introduce my co-host, Greg Tyler. Welcome, Greg.
Hey, Mark. Nice to see you again, especially for the 12th anniversary. That's quite a thing. Did you think that 12 years ago that you'd still be here podcasting about Voltron?
Wasn't sure. Had no really idea at all.
Yeah, well, I certainly didn't expect that we have this many guests on ever in any podcast, but my goodness, what a turnout we've had here. Mark, you want to do the honors and introduce these fine folks?
Yeah, so the reason we're doing this is because we have the whole cast of the radio play reenactment of My Brother is a Robeast that we did at VoltCon 2025 in Indianapolis, Indiana. So I'm going to start to introduce these people as their characters. All right?
All right, let's do it.
Okay, so our narrator for this My Brother is a Robeast was Shannon Muir. Welcome, Shannon.
Glad to be back and glad to be here with so many people today.
Thanks for joining us, Shannon. Our Zarkon and Mogor was Ricky Lile. Welcome, Ricky.
Hello.
Hello, welcome to the podcast for the very first time.
Yes, it's great to be here.
Good to have you.
Thanks.
And we want to thank Ricky for all the work he does at VoltCon, for doing all the sound and video and everything. Amazing work you do at VoltCon, Ricky. Thank you.
Thanks.
All right. Our Prince Lotor and Coran was Eric Stocker. Welcome, Eric.
Hi, guys. Happy anniversary.
Hello. Thanks.
Thank you.
Good to see you.
All right. Our Haggar and Allura was Susan Caraway. Welcome, Susan.
Hi. This is very exciting. Happy 12th.
Yes, welcome to the podcast for the very first time. That's so awesome.
Thank you.
Good.
I have to let everybody know that Susan has done a picture for us. Can you see that?
Oh, wow.
Yes. So to those listening to the podcast, Mark is holding up an image on his phone that Susan had very creatively put together. So thank you for that, Susan.
You're welcome.
So it was very, very well done, Susan. It has happy anniversary, Let's Voltron. Obviously, it's the number 12, but the numbers have Voltron pilot helmets in them. And then it says, thank you, Mark and Greg. So that was really cool. Thank you.
That's very
You're
kind.
welcome.
Thank you.
All right, next up, we have Bandor and the Arena Robeast, played by Dani DeWald. Welcome, Dani.
Hello, happy 12th.
Oh, thank you.
Hello, Dani. Welcome back.
Hello.
And our Romelle and Hunk was Nancy Terselic.
Hello, Nancy. Another longtime friend, first-time podcaster. Welcome aboard.
It's an honor to be here, especially on an anniversary episode. So thanks so much, guys.
It's great to have you on, Nancy. All right, our Keith and King Kova was Marika Levine, Mama Voltron. Hello.
Hi, everybody.
Hello.
Happy
Welcome
anniversary,
aboard.
guys. It's great to be here.
Thank you.
And then our Pidge and Avok was Natalie Sikes.
Hey.
Hello, hello. Welcome back.
Thank you.
And also our Lance was Cindy Hand. Welcome, Cindy.
Hi, Cindy.
Happy anniversary.
Thanks.
I also need to mention our Drak that was played by Hann Leach. Hann obviously couldn't be with us, but thank you, Hann, for playing
Yes.
Drak.
Thank you, Hann.
Thank you, Han.
Thank you.
Very much.
All right. So what I have to do is I have to get used to the fact that there's freaking 11 people on this podcast, because this is amazing. I mean, if we had Hann, it would have been the official 12 for the 12th anniversary. So that would have been cool. But
Is this a podcast record?
I think it is. I think it is.
Yay.
We've had the biggest ones we had prior to this was the cast of Voltron Legendary Defender. It was our 200th episode, and we had most of them.
We almost have
And-
enough people for the sea, air, and land teams, by the way. This is pretty neat.
Yeah. And then also, the second biggest, I think, was our 10th anniversary of Voltron Force with that cast.
Yep. Yeah, that was really great too.
So yeah, we're now talking about the cast of My Brothers Are Robeast, the radio play from VoltCon 2025. So how did this come to be? Shannon, Greg, do you guys remember whose idea it was to put on a radio play or a reenactment of an episode?
I know it
Feels like an
wasn't
ancient
me.
memory now.
Yeah, it wasn't me. It was one of the two of you.
I think it
and
might have been me, but I don't know for sure.
That
Yeah.
was what I'm leaning towards, but yeah, I think so. I think you're right, Greg. I think it was you.
Yeah, so great idea, because we've done so many panels at VoltCon now as the podcast, and we don't want to redo things that we've done before, and we want to do something that's fresh and exciting and new. And this was a great thing. And I think one of the key things was, would we have the permission to do that from WEP? And of course, Bob was all for it. And so we didn't have a problem there. The problem is getting past the censors at YouTube and making sure that we're not getting blocked on our video. So I think it's all going to work out.
Fingers crossed.
Yeah. So as such, we then had to worry about okay, what episode are we going to do? And we had to think about the theme of VoltCon 2025 was the villains. Where's an episode that really shows villains a lot, and this was a good one because it not only had your true villains that are part of Voltron, like Haggar and Lotor and Zarkon, but it also had some additional villains, the evil planet Pollux, right? And King Kova and Avok and Romelle and Bandor, who, of course, like the rest of us, if you meet the Voltron Force and you're evil, you're going to become good. It's just going to happen. You got to get used to it. All right? Right?
Good or cut in half.
So then it was after that, all right, now that we've got the episode, we took the original script that we had and we had to make it into a script that would be something that we could have regular narration on, and then, regular speaking parts and everything, and then be able to split up those parts across a lot of people like you. So how did that work, Shannon? Do you remember?
Yep. The next step involved Greg. Greg was our lifesaver on this, because otherwise we would have had to have listened to the episode and retyped it all by hand. But we didn't have to do that. And Greg, since you actually did that part of the work, can you describe what you did?
So thanks to WEP, we have access to most of the scripts from Voltron Defender of the Universe. They're PDF scans of the typewritten hard copies from the old days. So they're not machine readable or searchable as they are. They're basically a photograph per page of each of the script pages. Mm-hmm. So I ran that episode script through some optical character recognition software, or OCR, and it turned into a big, messy, yucky. Well, it was a mess. So I had to go back and manually correct a whole bunch of stuff to basically make the script as it was in the hard copy, the original scan. Then converted it to a transcript by listening to the episode and tweaking it here and there to make the dialogue and match up with what's actually in the finished episode, because there were a few changes. And then we alternated across the three of us. I don't remember exactly who did what, but we basically massaged it into a radio play format and added some narrative content here and there to interlink the action. I know Shannon had a big hand in that. So Shannon, you want to take it from here?
One of the things that we did find with the scripts that were done for Voltron is they describe enough so that you knew what you were looking at, and then they'd have the dialogue with it. It wouldn't always give all the description that would be required for somebody to understand what was going on, because it's not like a script that's intended to be animated where you do have to describe, well, here's the action you need. So we're like, okay, if we read this out loud, someone who's sitting in the audience who's never seen the episode won't understand what's going on. There were also cases, like I can think of the scene where Lotor's ship lands and he brings Romelle back to Pollux. There are several reactions, like where she's not looking at her father or Bandor, for example. Nowhere in the script, because there's no dialogue tied to that. There was no reason for them to describe it, but that's crucial to know how her character was reacting. So I was doing passes like that where I was having to add those pieces of words, and then it would go back to Greg, and he'd have to look and did it make sense? Did I make any typos? That kind of thing. And so that's what Greg means by it bounce back and forth. We'd each notice different things. And then eventually we got to the point where we did our version of a table read to see if we would find anything by reading it out loud, which we did.
Which was fun, by the way.
Yeah, because I did the narrator part, and Mark and Greg had to figure out how to take every other voice. So I'll if you two want to talk about your experience doing that, because I was kind of in the weeds, like taking notes all over the script.
Well, this is true of every Voltron episode, and this is true of how we recorded it through the table read and how you guys recorded it at VoltCon. People talk very fast in this, and there is a lot of lines, okay, across this whole episode. You think about a typical like 23-minute episode, and you don't realize just how much is just packed right into that in forms of dialogue, in forms of, and if you get a narrator involved in it, obviously there's a lot. But holy moly, me going through and just putting captions on these things took forever, just because I was trying to get it, lined up to as they were speaking it, sort of like in karaoke,
Yeah.
and then just trying to make sure that it matches, perfectly well with how they're saying it too. Because if there's, an exclamation point that has to be at the end of this, how do we bring that out in the just the text, and things like that. So that alone took a while. So when Greg was going through and making sure the transcript was right, and then Shannon was going through, these are all very time-consuming things to get us ready for a 42-page script. That's how much it is. And then we had to make sure that we had copies for each of you when we got to VoltCon too, so we had to print them all out.
Yeah, and then there were the calls where we had to decide what to take out, because there were some tiny bits that had clearly ended up on the cutting room floor from the final episode, and we knew we were going to run over. So it's like, while those would have been fun to keep, this is a long script. Another creative call I remember suggesting, and you both agreed we should keep it, was the tone of how the episode ends. It's just kind of this, Keith says a line and it just cold end, and I'm like, no, we gotta end on the up energy. So if you were wondering, when you see it, you'll see that a certain thing that you'd expect in one place is in some place else. I thought, nope, we gotta end on that up energy, and that's why you will see the change that you wouldn't expect to see. And I think and we'll see what everybody thinks at the end.
So do any of you have any questions over how we got to, having this ready for VoltCon? Any questions on that? Cindy?
How long from the beginning to VoltCon did it take for you to get the scripts ready and everything?
I would say several months, right?
It did. I think we seriously started working on it in July, because first we had to work on getting Bob's permission before. And that July in my head is this particular script. I can't remember how far back we went in getting the the 5 that we were discussing and choosing between, ending up with this one, and then getting Bob's permission took a little bit of time. I remember starting script work in July, and then because of certain things in the summer when either Mark or Greg were traveling, we had little gaps of time where we didn't meet. But after that, it was intensely like week and a half, pretty much up to when we all flew out or drove out, whoever was doing which.
Right.
Yeah. And I think between across the 3 of us, I think we printed 40 copies of the script. So if you do some math there, that's over 1,600 pages of script just in case. So yeah, the recycle bin was happy after VoltCon. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, because as those of people that are watching, and also from the introductions we did in the beginning, there was double casting that went on throughout all of this. We came with enough scripts that if there had been sufficient interest to single cast most of the roles, and we ended up not needing them. But being our first time, we didn't know how many we'd need, how many people would be interested. And that was kind of the risk we had to run.
Right. So we had to decide how we were going to get people to sign up. And we decided that it was going to be right after the villains panel. We would tell everybody what the episode was, and then you could sign up at our table afterwards. Shannon would be there. And then we needed to have like a close-off time for people to sign up. So we figured maybe by the cosplay event, as long as we get everybody signed up by then we can get things lined up, and we discuss it together. And then we have all these signs that we brought with us that had the names of the characters. I think one of Marika, did you have those? Yeah, there they go. And and Eric has it. Yeah, so we gave signs, and I just wanted to show this picture that I have. This is a picture of everybody with their sign. And I'll show this.
Trust us, there's a photo.
Yeah, there's a photo of everybody with their sign that we took at the end.
Yeah, so the reason we did the name signs is because, with everybody playing parts that have very familiar voices, it wasn't always going to be obvious who was playing who. So it was as much for Mark's benefit as he was kind of conducting the activities to know who to point to as their lines came up. It was a logistical thing as much as anything.
But the great thing was that all of you were so in tune to the script and everything and your parts that there wasn't really any benefit to me just pointing to you when it was your turn, because you knew your part, you knew when it was coming, you were following along great. And here's the thing, you guys had just seen the script. This was the first time you got to see it, and you're basically doing a one-take play, which is amazing all in itself. So congrats to all of you just for that. So well done.
Yeah, seriously, because and Mark's right, because I'm the only one who has it in advance, but since I had worked with them on it. But even so, to clarify for the audience, the downside of my being the narrator is I had 100 lines.
Mm-hmm.
So I would not want to give that to anybody cold. And since we were talking about casting, we actually had 2 roles that we didn't cast. They turned out to be single liners. And conveniently, we talked about it over dinner. We're like, wait a minute, what are we going to do with these other people? We're going to make these, are we going to get some triple up for these little single one-liners? What are we going to do? And I said, no, actually, these 2 are wedged in between 2 long narrator stretches. And so I just worked it into my dialogue as I went. I actually rewrote those 2 parts on the fly as I was talking. I knew, oh, wait a minute, here. So I just made it sound like it was part of the narration and just kept right on tracking. Because it's like, there's no point stressing somebody with 3 parts for it. Mm-hmm. And we'll find out if it worked or not.
It was fun because I think we listening to Neil's panel about how many times they'd have to do retakes and way more energy. We didn't want to do any of that, so we had to, okay, we're doing this once.
Yeah, a lot of pressure, huh?
Yeah, follow along. Yeah, it was. try to move a page ahead to find out where your next lines were going to be, and like, okay, here's that, and it was intense.
And like I had said in the review podcast that we did with Kevin and Patrick and Savannah, I've heard table reads for TV shows and movies that didn't go as well as what you guys did all in one take. So, and these are people that knew their characters in and out, and should have done a better job at a table read, but they didn't. So you guys did awesome. So what I have to ask now is, would you guys like to see the finished product?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yes.
absolutely.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Can you set up what this is versus the recording at the convention itself, especially for our listeners who
Right.
won't be able to see what's going on here?
Okay, so what we did was we had a panel at VoltCon, and we brought all these scripts. Everybody signed up for their parts. A lot of these people had 2 parts. And then we gave them the scripts just before the panel, and we had them sit in a similar area, so that they were all lined up according to their characters that were talking to each other. They would sit close together, right? And then we had these signs that we put on everybody, and they had their character names on them.
Well, overall, I was acknowledging the only 2 exceptions to that were Ricky and myself, who were actually off to one side. Ricky, because Ricky, you worked the boards, you were everything. And for me, thank you for letting me borrow that table by your station, by the way. It made life easier for me because I had to flip through every page. I was actually standing with a little table and a clip-on mic compared to what the rest of them were doing, and just going through page by page by page.
Yeah.
But everybody else was seated in groups with their mics.
So this
Go ahead.
whole thing was being recorded by my wife on her camera. And so we got the audio from the speakers because everybody was talking into a microphone. So the audio came directly from the speakers in the room, in the Castle of Lions room at VoltCon. And while I tried to remove as much background noise as I could, there are some dogs that are yapping back in the background that you still might hear.
I think it's
Go ahead.
Lanka from Voltron Legendary Defender. So it wasn't yapping, it was yelping.
There you go. So, so with all that going on and everything, just the fact that it was in a big room and everything, still the audio I thought came out really well, and I was still able to get everybody's lines, and we put this together with screenshots from the actual episode so that it goes in chronological order according to the episode, and I put captions on it, so there's text as you can read along in case you had trouble recognizing what people were saying.
Yeah. So again, for the benefit of our listeners, what you're about to see, the video is what Mark just described. This is not the video of of all of you sitting at the mics performing. So so Mark took this to the next level after the con and put this video track together, which is really, really awesome. So thank you, Mark, for that.
But the good news is at the end of this 12th anniversary podcast episode, you guys are going to see some behind the scenes of our cast. So I am looking forward to putting that at the end of this podcast. So you'll see that.
Awesome.
It'll be really interesting. And another cool thing that you guys got to do at the end was also you got to sign one of the scripts. Everybody signed it, and it's going to be used as an auction item for next year's VoltCon. So that's awesome. Would you guys like to see it now?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
You guys have waited a long time for this. This was October, and now it's December, and you finally have a finished product. Hopefully, something you guys feel really proud about. All right. This is My Brother is a Robeast radio play reenactment with all of these people that you see here, including Hann Leach as Drak. And I just want to thank you all again for your wonderful contribution at VoltCon 2025. Thank you.
Welcome to Voltron Defender of the Universe. My Brother is a Robeast. VoltCon 2025 radio play. based on the original television script number 217 of the same title, written by Stan Oliver. This version written by Mark Morrell, Greg Tyler, and Shannon Muir. This is adapted with permission of WEP, Limited Liability Corporation, with many, many thanks to Bob Kopler.
And now, back to Voltron, Defender of the Universe.
On planet Doom, in the castle throne room, King Zarkon sits on his throne. Prince Lotor stands beside his father. Visitors stand at the bottom of the stairs below the throne, and Zarkon addresses them.
King Kova, your offer is hard to refuse. You know how much I want to destroy the mighty robot, Voltron. But let me hear more of the details of your plan. Explain how the old witch Haggar will be part of your scheme.
King Kova of planet Pollux and his party, dressed in Roman-style clothing, kneel before Zarkon.
It's very easy, Zarkon. Haggar will turn the greatest warrior in my kingdom, my son, Prince Avok, into the most powerful monster in the galaxy.
Zarkon considers Kova's words.
You make it sound so simple. Have you forgotten the strength of Voltron, the mightiest robot in the universe? Right, Lotor?
Lotor nods in agreement. Kova replies to Zarkon, keeping his head bowed.
I have not forgotten.
Kova, your planet was powerful, but that was long ago. I want to test your warrior. He shall fight in the arena.
Kova looks up at Zarkon while remaining kneeling. Lotor smiles an evil smile.
Yes, he must prove himself against the Robeast monster.
King Kova turns to regard his son, Prince Avok.
We welcome that challenge. Prince Avok is the greatest fighter in the galaxy.
And I challenge that.
Lotor leaps from the throne, down the steps, and lands near Kova and his men. Lotor points a finger at Avok.
This human has no chance against Voltron.
Relax, Lotor. If the king says his warrior can do it, let him prove it in the arena.
It'll be a short fight. The Robeast will chop him down like a tree.
Prince Avok rises from kneeling to face Lotor. He looks coolly into Lotor's eyes. Later, outside Castle Doom, in a large arena, spectators gather to watch two gladiators, an arena Robeast and Prince Avok, both of whom are armed with swords. The beast rises, flourishing its sword. Lotor, watching his father from a back seat, thinks to himself,
He won't have a chance against this Robeast.
On the floor, the arena Robeast raises its sword. The arena Robeast charges at Avok, who jumps out of the way. Avok jumps up and swings his sword down. Avok knocks the arena Robeast sword from its hand and then stabs at the arena Robeast. Zarkon and Lotor react.
I can't believe it.
And the spectators are equally surprised.
That man was lucky.
Lotor leaps from the box seat and lands in the arena, facing Avok and drawing his sword.
Now, meet a real opponent. Me!
Lotor charges toward Avok and swings his sword. Avok blocks the attack with his own sword, and Lotor smiles smugly.
Fool.
Their swords press together. Lotor and Avok stare at one another. Avok sweats. Lotor advances, pushing Avok against one wall of the arena. Suddenly, Lotor hears an unexpected feminine voice from the grandstands.
Avok, my brother, win it for us!
Lotor looks up to see a pretty young woman who looks like Allura's twin. Next to the woman is a small, red-headed boy, dressed in a toga. The young woman and the red-headed boy look down proudly at Avok.
My brother Avok is the bravest and best fighter in the universe.
The bravest fighter and the strongest prince.
Lotor admires Romelle and thinks to himself,
That beautiful girl looks just like Princess Allura.
Taking advantage of Lotor's distraction, Avok pushes Lotor away and knocks the sword from his hand. Avok points his sword at Lotor's throat. Lotor stands frozen in fright. The spectators look on in astonishment. From his box seat, Zarkon shows his disappointment.
Lotor's a fool, distracted by a woman.
With the sword still at his throat, Lotor challenges Avok.
You're lucky. Would you dare to fight me again?
I'll spare you if you help me with my plan.
Fair enough. Haggar, come quickly. Take this brave man to your laboratory. And goodbye.
Haggar the witch approaches Prince Avok from behind.
Oh, young man, you wish to be a Robeast? Follow me.
Haggar and Avok exit the arena as Romelle and Bandor watch their older brother with pride.
Wow, Avok's gonna be a Robeast.
Yes, but the real excitement will be when he defeats the mighty Voltron.
Voltron will not have a chance against him.
Lotor stands just below and turns to look up at them. He leaps from the arena floor to the grandstands and then kneels before Romelle gallantly and takes the princess's hand.
You think Avok's the greatest man in the universe?
Oh, I do. I'm Princess Romelle. This is my little brother, Prince Bandor.
Avok's also your brother. May I show you around?
Well, all right.
You look just like Princess Allura.
Lotor leads Romelle away by the hand. From a nearby seat, King Kova stands and frowns as he looks to where Avok and Haggar exited the arena. Kova's assistant, Drak, tries to reassure the king.
He's in good hands.
Later, Zarkon, Lotor, and Haggar return to Zarkon's throne room.
So, Prince Avok is now a Robeast. Lovely! As soon as he destroys Voltron, we will destroy him.
Yes, sire. I have worked wonders, and all will go smoothly according to my plan. If Prince Lotor will do his part, King Kova is old and will be gone. That will leave little Bandor as prince in charge of bullets.
I know.
Princess Romelle means nothing, you see. Not so.
She means something to me, old witch.
You may have her when we defeat Voltron. Now take your Robeast and go to planet Pollux.
Later, a gigantic Doom battleship lands on the planet Pollux, near a sprawling, fortress-like castle. King Kova's troops stand at attention in the castle courtyard. A hatch on the ship opens, revealing Lotor, Haggar and her cat, Princess Romelle, Doom Officer Mogor, and ladies of Lotor's court. Nearby the ship, King Kova, Prince Bandor, and several attendants kneel and bow. Everyone is eager for Lotor's arrival. A ramp extends from the ship's open hatch. Lotor leads his retinue off the ship and stops before Kova and his party, with a nervous Romelle standing right behind him. Bandor looks up at Lotor and smiles, thinking to himself,
Lotor is great, but my brother is greater. He's even greater than Voltron.
King Kova, are you ready to meet the mightiest monster of them all?
Princess Romelle sadly turns her head to avert her gaze from her father and her younger brother.
I'm ready, and even more anxious to divide up planet Eris between us.
King Kova and Prince Bandor rise.
Let the fun begin. The witch Haggar has done her evil best with Avok. Get him!
Mogor rises at Lotor's command.
Sire, at once.
Mogor raises his arm to signal the ship. A Robeast coffin emerges from a chute at the ship's bow. It descends to the ground. Inside the coffin lies a horrible Robeast monster that was once Prince Avok.
Witch Haggar says the Robeast she created from her son is her greatest achievement. He is bigger and faster than Voltron and stronger. Because Avok volunteered to become a Robeast, Haggar found him to be a very willing subject. He was able to absorb over 10 million units of laser thermal rays.
Kova nods in approval and then turns to his assistant, Drak.
Drak, have you sent any demand for surrender to planet Eris yet?
It has been done.
Lotor looks on.
See, both princesses will be mine.
Meanwhile, on planet Eris, in the control room of the Castle of Lions, Coran sits at the central console in front of the monitor. The Voltron force stands behind him. Coran observes the monitor as text from a message begins to appear.
This message has just started coming in. It's a challenge from King Kova of the evil planet Pollux. They want us to surrender or fight. And so, with the help of Zarkon, we are now fully prepared and quite able to conquer. This is your first and last warning. Surrender or be taken. You know the history of our two planets. We will settle our long feud now, once and for all. Give up or go down.
I remember my father telling me all about the planet Pollux, Coran.
Coran pushes a button on the console. An image of a habitable planet appears on the monitor.
It is our evil twin world. Legend tells us that Eris and Pollux were created at the same time. Let me explain.
Lance reacts.
Planet Pollux looks just like Eris. How come they're evil?
The first king of Eris and the two sons. One peace-loving, one violent.
Huh?
When the king grew old and was about to die, he called his two sons before him. One was sad that his father was ill, the other was anxious to take over the planet.
Pidge chimes in.
There's a rotten apple in every barrel.
Before he died, the king sent the madman away to Pollux. Today, the descendants still carry on the grudge.
Keith comments.
So what you're saying is, if the people of planet Eris fight against the people of planet Pollux, they're really fighting against their own relatives. Coran, it's time to make peace.
That's exactly right.
Coran stands with determination.
I will go with the Voltron force.
Princess Allura steps toward Coran.
No, Coran, it is my duty as Princess of planet Eris to go and represent my world in peace. No, I think she's right. Come on, team, let's go.
A circular panel raises several feet from the floor, revealing the chutes to the dens of the Voltron lions. Keith, Lance, Pidge, Allura, and Hunk run into their respective chutes and soon reach the cockpits of the black, red, green, blue, and yellow lions. Once seated at the controls of the black lion, Keith places the lion's key into a slot on the console and speaks to his teammates over the con.
Insert all keys.
The Voltron lions activate, emerge from their dens, and fly into space.
Ready to form Voltron. Activate interlocks. Dynamos connected. Infra cells up. Mega thrusters are go.
Let's go, Voltron force!
Forward, feet and legs. Forward, arms and body. And all form the head.
Voltron!
The mighty Voltron, defender of the universe, blasts away from the planet Eris. Shortly afterward, the super robot approaches the planet Pollux.
It's lucky for us that the orbit of planet Pollux comes close to planet Eris every 100 years, so it didn't take us long to get here.
Meanwhile, on planet Pollux, King Kova and his assistants secretly confer at Kova's castle.
King Zarkon and Prince Lotor are fools to think we join forces with them, just so we can divide up the planet Eris.
Your plan is a brilliant one, Majesty. We'll not only conquer the planet Eris, we'll be able to get rid of Zarkon as well.
I will rule Pollux and Eris and the entire universe!
Kova pounds his fist into the table as one of his associates responds. We have to destroy Voltron.
That will be easy. Thanks to Zarkon's witch hammer, Avok is now the most powerful Robeast in the galaxy. We must keep the plan from Zarkon and Lotor.
Unbeknownst to the malevolent monarch of planet Pollux, Haggar's blue cat spies on the conversation and transmits it to Lotor and Haggar, who view it from a crystal ball.
Kova thinks he's clever. Once he destroys Voltron, we will destroy him.
That transmitter on my little evil cat really comes in handy.
In an underground sewer tunnel outside the castle, the Voltron force stealthily splashes toward the palace.
If they'd answered our message of peace, we wouldn't have to be sneaking in here to find out what they're up to.
The force stops near a grilled window toward a spacecraft landing area.
Hey, check that out.
Oh wow, I didn't think anyone could make an attack ship that big.
They said they were going to attack my planet. We've got to stop them.
The Voltron force emerges from the sewer tunnel and swims across a water basin adjacent to the castle, where they see the attack ship. Hunk and Pidge surface first, spitting water out of their mouths as they surface.
It's pretty high.
The team jumps out of the water and runs to the castle wall. Pidge unfastens his belt and removes a handful of spikes.
Where's the alternatives?
Keith, Allura, Lance, and Hunk remove identical spikes from their belts and pass them down to Keith, who then hands some to Pidge. Pidge leads the way by driving each Ultra Grip into the wall, creating handholds and footholds. The Voltron force carefully scales the castle wall until they reach and leap through a window into a corridor. In a nearby hallway, Bandor and Romelle are talking.
Since my brother became a Robeast, he doesn't even recognize me. But after he defeats Voltron, he'll change back into a person again.
The siblings look out of a window at a large planet in the night sky.
It's the planet Eris. Oh, how beautiful.
Bandor points at Eris.
By tomorrow, at this time, we'll have conquered it, Romelle. You should be happy.
War is nothing to be happy about, Bandor.
It is, too. Lotor promised me after Avok gets rid of Voltron, I can have my own castle.
Romelle puts her hand on Bandor's shoulder and looks him in the eye.
You can't believe everything Lotor says.
Bandor hears a clanging sound. He reacts in surprise.
Huh?
In the other corridor, Pidge looks up at what he just hit.
Oh, didn't see that suit of armor.
The Voltron force quietly approaches a corner. At the front of the team, Pidge turns the corner.
Don't worry, no one hurt us. Wow!
Pidge finds himself face to face with Prince Bandor, who holds a sword.
I don't know who you are. You better start talking. I don't know what to talk about. How about sports or the weather? Real funny. I bet you're a spy.
From opposite sides, Allura and Romelle run towards the corner.
Pidge, are you alright?
Bandor, what's happening?
The two princesses stop just in front of each other. They face each other in surprise, yet almost as if they recognize each other. Lance, Keith, and Hunk watch from down the hall, close enough to see what is happening. Hunk and Pidge react.
She looks like Allura's twin sister.
I'm glad I'm wearing my glasses.
Allura breaks the princess's stunned silence.
You must be the princess of planet Polas.
I'm Romelle.
I'm Princess Allura of planet Eris.
Keith reacts as Bandor recovers from his own surprise.
They're almost cousins. The resemblance is hard to believe.
Lance and Hunk nod affirmatively. Bandor pushes forward towards Pidge with his sword.
Okay, you're all my prisoners.
Hunk comes charging down the corridor to save his friend.
What do you think you're doing?
Bandor now charges toward Allura. Hunk knocks Bandor to the ground. Bandor's sword spins across the floor and stops near the hiding spot of Haggar's blue cat, who's been watching the encounter.
We mustn't fight. If there's to be peace, it must begin here. Who said anything about peace? When the fighting starts, even Voltron can't help you.
Allura continues to plead. Tears form in her eyes.
Romelle, listen. Maybe between us we can bring peace.
Pidge looks out a nearby window and sees Doom robots standing around the water basin and parked Palexian attack ships.
Captain, guess what? I think we're surrounded.
Standing among the Doom robots, Haggar and her cat look up toward the window.
You've done well, my pet. You'll get a tasty reward.
Just then, Mogor and a squad of Doom robots appear in the corridor, surprising Romelle, Bandor, and the Voltron force.
There they are. Fire!
The Doom robots and the Voltron force exchange laser fire.
Hey team, follow me. We gotta get to Voltron.
Go!
Out that window!
The Voltron force runs to the window through which they had entered the castle. They leap through the window one by one, splashing into the water basin as surrounding Doom robots fire their lasers into the water. Haggar is enraged.
You must stop him!
Soon, the Voltron force returns to the sea beyond the castle grounds, where Voltron had been hidden. Voltron flies out of the water and into the sky.
Let's go, Voltron!
Voltron lands on the ground and kicks down a portion of a wall that surrounds the palace. Keith calls out to his teammates.
Okay, get ready, team.
Mogor reacts from his vantage point at the castle.
It is the time to strike. Release the Robeast that will destroy Voltron!
A Robeast coffin emerges from a chute at the bow of Lotor's ship. Prince Avok, a giant monstrous Robeast, bursts from the coffin, stands, and bellows in a deafening and terrifying voice.
Voltron, prepare to meet your doom!
Avok, as the Robeast, draws 2 swords and presses the swords together into a double-edged sword. Avok as Robeast spins the double sword like a master propeller as Keith orders the Voltron force into action.
Form blazing sword!
Voltron's blazing sword materializes between the mighty robot's hands. Avok as Robeast spins double sword and knocks the blazing sword out of Voltron's hand.
Forget about the blazing sword!
That Robeast has too much power!
Lance suggests Voltron's next attack.
Spinning laser blades!
A spiked disc materializes in Voltron's left hand. Voltron throws the disc and it knocks the Avok Robeast twirling double sword out of the monster's hand.
That did it. Now follow up!
Voltron and the larger, taller Avok Robeast charge toward one another and lock their arms in combat. Princess Romelle, Prince Bandor, and King Kova exit the castle to watch the battle. Avok as the Robeast throws Voltron over its head. Voltron crashes to the ground. Kova, Romelle, and Bandor look on in fear as Avok as the Robeast kneels near Voltron's head, grasps Voltron's lion head helmet, and prepares to smash Voltron's face with its fist.
Ha! He got him! I knew it! Reroute lion torches!
Voltron spits fire from the mouth at the Avok Robeast.
Oh!
Avok as Robeast falls back. Voltron stands, and the 2 Titanic warriors resume their fight. Avok as Robeast pushes Voltron against the palace wall and knees Voltron repeatedly. Allura is concerned.
We can't hold out much longer! Our titanium shields are warping!
Avok as Robeast and Voltron crash through the wall and tumble over one another into the sea. The Titans stand and face each other.
Get him, Avok! Get him! Now let's hit him with the Argon force field.
An energy field surrounds Voltron and extends to envelop Avok as the Robeast. Voltron sends an intense charge of energy into the monster's form.
Oh!
Lotor, now back aboard his ship, watches the battle.
I just can't believe this. Mogor, blast them of everything you've got. Demolish them!
Doom fighter craft fire lasers and rockets at Avok as Robeast and Voltron. Avok, in his Robeast form, is hit by much of the barrage. Although the monster smashes Doom fighters with its fists, it succumbs to the blasts and falls into the sea.
He swam underwater!
Come back, Avok!
More explosions are heard.
I've got to find Avok!
Romelle runs toward the sea.
He's swimming out to sea! Come back!
Romelle is grabbed by 2 of Lotor's Doom robots.
Let me go! Let me go! I hate Lotor!
Bandor chases after the Doom robots, desperate to rescue his sister, as the robot is raising its sidearm. Tumbling to the ground, he watches helplessly as Lotor's ship takes off. Voltron leaps into the sky and flies toward Lotor's ship.
Come on, team! Let's go after him!
Let's punch a hole in Lotor's ship and see what he's up to!
Voltron's red lion hand punches a hole into the hull of Lotor's ship. Inside the ship are Lotor and the captive Romelle. Lotor grabs Romelle's hand.
Don't come any closer, or Romelle will regret it.
Voltron's red lion hand continues to push through. Lotor and Romelle run into an escape ship. The small ship exits Lotor's command ship.
And now, the planet Doom!
Activate retrojets! This ship's finished!
Voltron withdraws its hand from the ship. Lotor's command ship explodes. Voltron flies away from the blast, and inside the escape ship, Lotor, Haggar and her cat, and Romelle look on. Mogor is lying face down on the floor with Lotor's boot on his head.
I don't have enough fuel to return home. I'll have to land on planet Eris.
Don't blame me, Master.
Later, Bandor stands in an empty field outside the castle. The Voltron force stands with him.
I'll never see Romelle again!
Allura puts a comforting hand on Bandor's shoulder.
Of course you will. Voltron has land on heirs, and he'll probably exchange Romelle for help in repairing his ship.
Bandor turns around, and Allura wipes tears from his eyes.
Feel better? Thanks a lot.
Keith consoles the young prince.
Come along if you want. We're going to get to Eris before Lotor.
Keith puts his hand on Bandor's shoulder.
Life is sure gonna be nicer when our planets are friendly again.
Never forget, Bandor. Friendship's the greatest thing in the universe.
This is the story of the super force of space explorers, specially trained and sent by the Alliance to bring back
Voltron, Defender of the Universe!
Well, what did you guys think, huh?
So
good. That was a whole lot better than I thought it would end up.
Yeah.
Yeah, really well. It was really well done.
Very
Oh,
good.
wow.
That worked so well.
Love the music with it.
Yeah, the music I didn't expect that.
Yes.
So that was a
Me
surprise,
either.
huh?
We discussed it. We never
Yeah.
talked about the post end of it, or at least I didn't. You might have with Greg, but that was a surprise to me. So
Yeah, that was all that video stuff was Mark. So I assume, Mark, that the music was that from the soundtrack CD.
That was from the soundtrack CD. I have had those things on my computer from day one of the podcast. So those files are all at least 13 years old.
Yeah, so you had to dust them off before you use them again, right? All the bits and bytes. Yeah.
Yeah, so the thing that prepared me for doing this was when we did the little mini episode with Jack Angel, and we were able to take bits and pieces of old episodes and have the whole Zarkon with Haggar bit with Franklin and Jack. You remember that when we did that, Greg?
Oh yeah, that was a blast. You really
Yeah.
did a great job with that, did it?
So with that one, I added music to it too, and it seemed to come out okay. But in this one, I already had an episode, right? I already had music that was part of that episode. So if I tried to match the music that was being played in the original episode, and if I couldn't find it, or if I couldn't, match it just perfect, I tried to get the same mood going on in that particular scene. So I thought, from a music standpoint, it sounds pretty good, I think. What do you guys think?
Let's hope the YouTube gods allow the video to go through and let people listen to it. But yeah,
So-
that was such a great production, and my goodness, you all did such a great job in your roles. I had a blast watching this whole thing happen.
So I want to hear each of you individually to see what you say about your role in playing your part and everything, and then what you think of the final version. So let's start with Natalie in the top left there. Natalie.
Well, I was super excited when I heard it was this episode because this is one of my favorite episodes because it introduces us to some of my favorite side characters. And not to mention my favorite bit is the banter between Pidge and Bandor where they're like, start talking. I don't know what to talk about. How about sports or the weather? And I was also super excited to get into my Pidge voice. I had been practicing for that. And I was super excited to get Avok too. I got two of my favorite characters. I also really liked his character too. So that was a whole lot of fun. And I remember sitting there next to Mama Voltron, passing the microphone back and forth. That was one of my favorite parts of that, was just sitting next to her and being all like, we're getting ready for this. I remember gearing up like, caw. That was my favorite part.
All right, that's awesome. All right, to my right is Ricky. So let's get Ricky's response on this. What do you think, Rick?
At first, I wasn't sure I wasn't going to sign up, but I did, and I'm glad I did. And when you handed me and it said Zarkon, I'm like, really? You give me that one? Okay. So I had to find a good voice for that. And no, I had a lot of fun doing that, even working the board and doing it at the same time. It all just came together. So I really like doing it.
Yeah,
the video is really cool to watch because I didn't expect that music. I'm like, oh, there's a soundtrack. What the heck?
Yes.
So you did great as both Mogor and Zarkon. So thank you very much for that. That was great. Okay, next to Ricky's right is Susan. What did you think of it?
I thought the end product was really great. It was very interesting to see our voices lining up with the actual characters. I'm just really glad I didn't have to paint my face blue. I was so excited when I heard that you were doing this because I watched your preview of VoltCon, and when you mentioned that that was coming up, I was like, I couldn't sleep very well because I tend to watch you guys right before I go to bed. So I was like, I really, really want to participate in this. And the way in which you handled like letting people sign up and suggest like which ones they would like to do voices for, I was like really caught in between doing Haggar and doing Allura because Haggar's got a really interesting, unique voice, while Allura is like, who doesn't want to be one of the heroes? So I was like, if I'm really lucky, maybe they'll let me pull a BJ Ward and do both voices. So when I got to the actual recording of it, and Mark, you showed me who I was getting to play, and it was both of them. And I was just like, I'm not sure what my expression looked like to you, but I imagine it looked like the 7-year-old kid that got told on Christmas that they get to go to Disney.
Exactly.
Well, your Haggar was spot on.
Yeah.
It was.
And that Pidge was really good too. I loved it.
I think we had some very, as Neil Ross has described, particularly when we interviewed him on the podcast, he describes having an elastic voice where he can stretch it and morph it into different characters and all that. And I think many of you did much the same thing. You're playing characters who were very different in sound than your own voices, and in many cases, multiple characters that were different from each other, like Allura and Haggar. It was just a blast to listen to.
Right.
For someone to do Pidge's voice and like still be understandable is like really good. Because I've heard some people do it and it's not very understandable sometimes.
Yeah, so that was all great. So thank you very much, Susan. That was awesome. All right, now in the middle left, we have Cindy, who played Lance. What do you think, Cindy?
I thank you for giving me the small part of the script because my confidence was not with me. But it was very interesting, and I loved it. I love the program participation, that everybody was helping each other out and teaming up and stuff like that. So I did not want to do it, but you guys asked, and I did not want to back out, and I am grateful that I was a part of it, especially because I'm here tonight with you guys celebrating the anniversary and everything.
Well, thank you, and we're really glad you took part in it.
This is a nerdgasm moment.
And we'll all remember spinning laser blades.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. All right, now next to Cindy is Marika. Marika, what did you think of it?
Well, when you guys first mentioned it, as you said in the preview of VoltCon, I was like, oh, I need to be a part of this. And so when we actually got to the convention and they started the signups, I didn't care who I was going to play. I just wanted to be part of it. And when you guys asked, who I wanted to play, I'm like, anybody, And so the next day when I found out I was going to be Keith, who has been my boy since '84, I was like, oh, I get to do the Dynathrums Connected part, and I was like, the kid in the toy store, going, how am I going to say this? I got to say it cool. I've got to be like this. And it was just an absolute blast. And I grew up in a theater family. So, we did improv and things like that, whether it was on the stage or it was in classes. So I love that kind of stuff, just being able to go into like a cold read. And so, and having Natalie next to me, we had a blast. And I was just so thrilled to be a part of it. I mean, I could have had one line. I would have been thrilled.
And what was cool was both you and Natalie are playing the parts that Neil Ross did, and he's in the next room.
Yeah. But it was it was such an honor to be part of it. It really was. And of course the end product is amazing. And I hear myself, and I actually had two different voices. I kind of threw the English accent into Kova and then took it away. And just like I said, it was an absolute honor to be part of it.
Yeah,
We
well,
love having you on.
your character had to spend most of the time kneeling, and I'm sure King Kova didn't like that, having to kneel before Zarkon all the time.
Definitely.
That's the kneeling before Zark. That's good.
All right, to the right of Greg, then we have Eric. Eric, what did you think?
It was a lot of fun. It was more fun than I thought it was going to be. I'm not usually a participant in this kind of stuff. I'd rather be seen as a cosplayer rather than heard, because I do not have the elastic voice. I have a voice of a rock, but but it was fun, and I know my day job is not in trouble, so that's okay. But no, it was. The great thing about this convention is I can only speak for myself, but it got me to do a lot more things that I'm not used to doing, rather than a big convention would be, where nobody would ask you to do anything like that anyways. So, it gets me a little bit out of my shell. And
so would you say you went outside your comfort zone a little bit?
Oh yeah. If it would have been in front of an actual camera where we'd have to do perform, I would never be able to do it. It's just, I don't know what it is, but I mean, if I can, it's weird because when I can put a mask on, I'm fine. But if it's just like this and doing an actual performance, then I probably wouldn't be able to do it. And it was hard enough keeping a straight face, because as soon as Susan did her Haggar, it was everything I could do to hold the microphone in front of her face. It was awesome, but I just did not expect that voice to come out of her. It was fantastic.
So I think you really had to stretch for your role. I mean, for someone who had to come out of their shell, Lotor is kind of bombastic in a lot of episodes and scenes, and you really had to come out of your shell in a big way for that. So we're really glad you did.
Well, thanks. I appreciate it. But like I said, it was a whole lot of fun, and I would definitely do it again.
Oh, that's nice. That's nice. We'll remember that.
Well, you get what you pay for. So
all right. Okay, so in the bottom left, we also have Nancy. Nancy, what was your experience like?
Well, I was really excited about it because I love readers' theater, and I've done improv as well. And although most of my readers' theater before this was Shakespeare, so it was a little bit different. And when I signed up for a role, you asked what I would want, and I said, well, probably the princess. And there's two princesses in this. And when I saw that I was Romelle, I was happy. And then I saw I was Hunk, and I was a little concerned about that, because we didn't have time to practice different voices, really. We were looking through the script and trying to mark the parts that were ours. Watching the final product, I think I actually am pretty happy with how the Hunk came out. And with Romelle, I just tried to give it someone who had very good diction and was speaking, I suppose, in a royal way. The only stressful moment in it was during the performance, while we were flipping pages. I had two pages stuck together. And I couldn't get them separated. And finally, the person next to me, I don't think it was you, Dani, it was the other side, just showed me her script so that I could actually do my line. But no, this was amazing. I loved it. It was so much fun. I'd love to do more of it, actually.
Yes.
Same.
So my favorite part for Romelle was when she was grabbed by the Doom officers and she's saying, let me go, let me go. I hate Lotor. I love that part.
I will say in the actual finished episode, BJ Ward, I love how she's able to get her voice down to a lower register to play Romelle. And similarly here, I like that there was a good deal of contrast between Romelle and Allura's voices. And that was a really nice thing to have. Um, I've always liked how BJ worked and plays so many different characters. I mean, Haggar and Allura are light years apart, but Romelle is too. So it was great to have your unique touch on that voice. So thank you. And Hunk, of course, too.
Nancy and I are cousins now.
Yes.
All right.
That's all there is to it.
All right, so immediately to the right of Nancy is Dani. Dani, how was your experience?
Okay, so it was excellent. I had so much fun, and also the fact that I had to come with somewhat of a froggy voice to play Bandor. That was really fun to do as well. And of course, of being the Robeast, that's just screaming. That was just screaming. Actually, the hardest part for any voice actors, any type of screaming that they have to do, because that's the fastest way to lose your voice in a session. So it harkens back to when I was taking some voice acting lessons of how to be able to scream and not ruin your voice in the process. But that was so much fun. I enjoyed it so much. And yeah, we were playing. I was sitting next to Nancy and she was doing it. And Nancy, you were shaking. You were shaking. Because so, but we were playing off each other. That was the fun part. Is we sitting next to each other. We got to play off each other. We got to see and hear everybody as they're reading their lines, and I think that was the most fun part of the entire experience. Is we're doing this with friends that we've made at the con, and seeing as Eric said, coming out of their shells to play these characters.
Dani, you what you've just described is very similar to what we've heard many of the professional voice actors like Neil Ross and Michael Bell talk about at conventions and interviews, that what they remember most about all their stuff is their working experiences with fellow performers. So welcome to the party, Dani. That's really awesome.
Yeah.
It was just a blast to see you all bouncing off of one another. The interplay was great.
I think something that made it fun was the fact that we all did know each other already. It wasn't we were going into the script cold, but we all knew each other, so it was not like we weren't comfortable with each other.
And I just wanted to add to us, especially coming off as doing like a voice acting or a radio play, is what we did would be considered a group read or a group session. So that is quite different than what we're normally used to when it comes to dubbing anime, which is what Voltron was. It was dubbing where they only do it single session, where it's just the one guy in a booth at a time. So what we did would be normal for a radio play that was done, or in a normal animation setting where you got everybody together to do a recording session so they could play off each other. So it's kind of neat how we did this exercise and this fun exercise for a dubbed anime, and we turned it into a kind of like a group session. I loved it.
So one of the things that happened during that recording, there was a lot of turning of pages.
Yes.
and sometimes that got caught on the recording. Did the best we could to try to edit those out. Also, audience reaction. Okay. Dani, this is something you know very well because you got a big reaction when you first did the Arena Robeast screen.
Yes.
And then of course, Susan, you had some big reactions when you did your Haggar, and Natalie, you had some big reactions when you did your Pidge. And each time we have our narrator Shannon who has to follow those things. And Shannon's trying to keep her voice straight, and it's amazing to watch this as I was editing it, because I hear this all the time, and then I'm like, oh, how are we going to do this? So I hope it came out okay. What do you think?
Yeah, it actually did.
Came out great.
Okay, so Shannon, why don't you tell us what it was like trying to be the narrator in this? And then also you had to play like a bit part. There was the one in Kova's table. where you had to play a different voice for that than the narrator?
I'm gonna do the second part first, that little bit first. I had originally in my mind going into it, because we knew I was going to do that piece, was going to just read it as we had written it, stop, try to consciously like switch heavily into the line, and then drop back into the narration. But as I started talking, all of a sudden, when Kova pounds his fist into the table, I go on and describe one of the other associates says what he says, and I wind up, it becomes part of the sentence. I mean, it's not how it was written on the page, but that's how it came out of my mouth. It's like the brain just went and wrote it into that structure, and then I just kept on going. I had every intent, and I can do it. Nancy was talking about having been in like workshops doing Shakespeare. I have done a lot of work for the last few years in virtual worlds, and one of the things that I do every Friday, except we're on holiday hiatus right now, is I'm actually in a group that goes into a virtual world and workshop Shakespeare. And so far we've done, we did Titus, Romeo and Juliet, Taming of the Shrew. In all of those workshops, I have at times had to be 2 to 3 voices, some male, some female. So I was prepared for that.
Mm-hmm.
And I did some work in radio when I was an undergrad in college many, many years ago. But the one thing I've never done is anything like this in front of a live audience. And that was my biggest fear, was I'm going to mess this up. I know I have the skill set. I know I can do this when no one's watching me. And that was one of the reasons once I got into it. I know that, Mark, you were trying to give us cues why I was right down into the pages and wasn't looking up, because that everything would have broken. I would have been aware I was somewhere. And I actually had to tune out everything. And that's why it's interesting. And I did hear the couple times that I kind of didn't, I don't want to say didn't keep the momentum, but you can hear, like you said, me trying to keep my voice together. But I wound up feeding off everybody else's energy, which was a surprise to me, because I'm used to working a lot more in isolation. I think that was the biggest win for me, as I walked away going, you can do that? Yes, you can do that. If that helps answer your question.
Oh, yeah. So, like you said, the feeding off of other people's energy, that was being done throughout the whole thing. I mean, you guys were great at feeding off of each other. So that was something I enjoyed, because, you talked about, voice recording sessions being done individually versus being done with the whole cast together. I would always prefer the whole cast together. And, seeing how this came out after we had edited it, and you guys just doing it on one take, everybody was one take. And this is the first time you had seen it. And this is the first time you had ever read out these characters, with no practice whatsoever. So I'm just still completely amazed.
I think we were worried about screwing it up. So that's why we're all so focused on it. I mean, I know before we started, I said the shepherd's prayer. It was Alan Shepard.
Oh, wow.
Dear God, don't let me screw this up.
I felt like we were all preparing for a pop quiz, because I feel like once we got the scripts, we're all going, where's my line? Where's my line? There's my line.
I would go ahead to the next page or two just to see, okay, am I coming up? And then at least you prepare for it a little bit. But that was as much for it as I could get ahead.
Yeah.
It reminds me a little bit of music, like when you watch or actually play an instrument, and you get to the end of a page and you got to flip the page while you're playing or whatever. This is sort of the vocal equivalent to that. So yeah.
Going back to what you said about page turning, I was saying to myself, you could always do like what they do in the old time movies, where they get to the page and they say drop page, out loud, to make it comical. Instead of saying drop page, you say turn page. you know, and then you can hear all the rustling of everybody turning their pages.
I was going to say, do you think there's anything we could have done to prepare the scripts better for you guys to be able to do this without, having to fumble through it?
What I did was that I looked at the pages that didn't have my lines. I had facing one way, upside down, and then the page that did have the line, I had it crisscrossed.
Mm-hmm.
Because there was more than one time I went in full panic mode. I was like, wait, where are they? Where are they? I lost, like, I only looked up for a second and I don't know where they are. So as soon as, and then I would catch it just before the crisscross page where my line was being said.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think there's much you could do about it, but one of the things I noticed was we're all sitting and we're holding our scripts, and we didn't have a table or anything to set them on. And with some of us actually holding the microphones, there would come time when Susan was talking, I'd be holding the microphone and come to the end of the page, and I'm trying to flip the page, and my script falls out of my lap. So,
Yeah.
I mean, other than having a third arm, that's.
I don't know if, like, maybe having the mics on stands and we just kind of stand close to the mic and then step forward to the mic when we say our line and step back, then I don't.
Yeah.
So like in a typical voice recording booth where they have a stand that you put your script on and then you have the microphone in front of you. Is there a way that we can set that up in the future, Ricky? Would that be something that we could do?
I was actually thinking about that as I'm watching. I'm like, if we had a table and all the microphones kind of laid out and everyone's kind of sitting together, and then maybe even taking a feed right out of the board so you don't have the room sound coming in. There are plenty of things we could do for a part 2.
Okay.
Yeah, that was the main reason, because I knew I'd have to read every single page.
Yeah.
That me sharing a mic with any of you was not feasible. Even sharing with Ricky wasn't feasible. And so I had actually, Ricky, you and I had talked Friday night about tech. It's like what our options were. And the table was a nice last minute surprise, but at least I knew going into it I was going to have the hands-free mic. The table, what I will admit, what's been said already, the table was a definite bonus.
We might be able to do one of the round tables that are in the plot in that room. If we sat around a couple of those, we could set the mics on mic stands like we had on the panel tables.
Then and I've got music stands too.
Yeah,
those might work.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was thinking music stands. Yeah, because you already got the shake-ups there. They've got some music stands, right?
Yeah, and they've borrowed mine before too, so they're always there.
I would prefer a music stand because if you have it on a table in front of you, that means you're leaning down to it, and it's harder to control your voice if you're not in a good position to speak.
Exactly.
Yeah. And music stands are what get used often in booths. Like,
yes,
I think I've mentioned to some of you before, my husband has a stand built with PVC pipe and heavy curtain here in the back, and we have a music stand in that too.
Yeah,
and that's why I need again the table. That's what I'm used to. So it's much easier. It really is.
Yeah.
Well, we're just going to have to get all of our agents together and hammer this all out for the next time.
We'll have our people talk to your people. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
We'll
And
I have people.
I just assumed.
If some of you have any requirements, like you only want the green M&Ms or something like that, we got to talk about this. We really got to talk about that. Okay.
Did you see people fighting over the microphones because of different colors on them?
Oh my god. Yeah. Just to add to is that nowadays, when you're in the voice booth, it's no longer page turning. They actually use a digital pad, so they scroll through the reads now. So if we had enough iPads or any type of tablet, that also works too. So
this is getting expensive, Greg.
I know.
So we
YOT, bring your own tablet.
Right.
Or your own iPad.
Dani, was that created because of the pandemic?
No, the use of digital media has been around for a long time. It's not because just of the pandemic. It's so for what I remember when I was taking my voice acting classes is that we were reading off a teleprompter in the studio. There was no pages to turn. There was no physical copies to read. Everything was digital, and that was before this. I was taking those classes in like 2015, 2016. So they've been doing digital versions of all the scripts for a long time now.
Well, and weren't the Shakeups using digital media for their songs?
Yeah, they're off iPads, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, my dad uses an iPad whenever he has a gig. It prevents him from lugging around a folder full of like millions
Yeah.
of paper.
And it's easier to, whoop, swipe than it is to all the time. So yeah, the digital tablets are used. In fact, my cousin just performed at a piano recital, and she used an iPad for her music sheets. She hasn't touched a physical music sheet in almost a decade now.
Wow.
Yeah.
The
Wow.
advantage there also, if you're playing outside, the iPad doesn't blow away as easily.
Yeah.
Good point.
And it doesn't make paper sounds.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, when we get the budget increased, then
Exactly.
I'd
So,
probably be the one where it just dies on me and I'd
Oh
be
yeah.
lost.
I'll flip it
I've got a
into
cord for that.
One more piece of feedback because we're talking script and script structure. This
Mhm.
may not be a luxury that we get next year, but as the narrator who had to read the 100 lines, I'm wondering if it might help to have two of them. One who does the scene setups and one who does the action setups. Let me take the arena scenes, for example. That one narrator who reads the setup that we're in the arena and what it looks like and where the people are. And then when Lotor and Avok were actually in the sword fight, have that be a different person so that first person gets a breather till we get to the next scene. I don't know if we should or we shouldn't. I mean, assuming you guys asked me back to help with that, but it's just one of those things to maybe think about for a year because it was a lot of work. It would be nice to be able to split that up so that other people could do it and not necessarily have to be those of us whoever, like we were on the original team and had the advantage with that, so that people could have that be a choice. It just didn't seem, I mean, it was our first one, but it didn't also seem a logical choice due to its size. Just a
Okay.
thought.
I was just gonna say next year we just get Peter Cullen to be our guest.
There we go.
That solves everything.
Just so you guys know, we didn't talk about this yet, but there was a judge involved in this. Melissa was sitting on the sidelines trying to determine who was going to win Best Overall Actor, Best Voice Characterization of a Voltron Character, and then Best Fan Response. Who won Best Fan Response? Dani? Hey, for your Arena Robeast. Yes.
What a roar. What a roar.
All right. And then who won Best Voice Characterization of a Voltron Character?
It was me.
Susan?
Yes.
For your Haggar? Oh, yes.
There's
Thank
the
you.
award.
You're showing it. There's your award. Okay.
That's awesome.
And then who won Best Overall Actor? Natalie? Your Pidge was just dead on. Dead on.
It really was.
So I do have something that I wanted to share with you guys. I happened to share this with a certain president of World Events Productions named Bob Koppler.
Yes.
And I wanted to get his take on it, on what he thought the performance was like for, a bunch of fans from VoltCon doing this for the first time. Would you like to hear his actual response?
Does
Yeah.
it,
Yes.
does it involve cease and desist?
Please.
Believe it or not, no.
Okay, then.
Okay. He said, I love this. Who knew we had such talented, aspiring actors at VoltCon? Voices were spot on, held together by Shannon's brilliant narration. I had to rewind Haggar's part because I was convinced it was BJ Ward. Make way for Susan Caraway, ladies and gentlemen.
Thanks.
Very impressive commitment from everyone with real energy behind the performances. Thank you for sharing and great job pulling this together.
Aw,
So
thank you, Mom.
that's from Bob Koppler himself. Unfortunately, he had a prior commitment and he couldn't make it here this evening, or he would have loved to have been on with you guys.
Oh,
He is such a quality guy.
He is.
Yeah.
that's amazing.
But he loved it.
Oh, thanks, Bob.
That's great to hear.
Bob.
Great job, everybody.
I want to thank you guys, for doing this whole thing, because believe it or not, you take a look at this episode that we just showed to all the listeners and viewers of the podcast, and you think about everything that goes into it, and I think about all the things that went into the original episodes and how they put them together from those original Beast King Go Lion, shows in Japan. And I think about all the hard work that people did putting into that. And it doesn't happen without the efforts of many, many people coming together like Voltron to make something happen that's worth a look like that. And I think this is truly worth a look because you guys did an awesome job. So thank you.
Thank you.
Well, I
Thank
want to
you.
thank you because, when you guys have talked about how long it took to put the thing together, we walked in, read some lines, and then that was it. But you guys spent months on doing this, and we wouldn't have been able to do it without you guys. So thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I'm just
So-
really glad I didn't have to do it to a stopwatch.
I'm just
You
just
must
glad we
say
didn't
this
have
in 3 seconds.
Exactly. I was gonna say I'm glad we're not doing it to match lip flaps.
Yeah, but the key is you guys did it. You did it in a speedy manner because you knew, we had to get through so much during the course of it was a 50-minute panel, all right, and we actually got it done in like 30 minutes, all right, because you guys knew that the way they talk in the original Voltron and everything was very fast. So I didn't have to go back and ask somebody to speed up on a line or anything like that. So that was awesome. I mean, you guys needed little or no direction, which is great.
But you're
Just
a master
great.
pointer, though.
Yes.
Nobody could point like you, Mark.
And
It was
we,
nice
we,
having that safety net.
we had a taste of this at the previous VoltCon because we were given script pages to just read a single page worth of script, and being able to have an entire script to go through, that was a lot of fun.
I think that was a little bit of the genesis of the idea.
Yeah.
Because it was a lot of fun to have people doing those pages, and I think that was a major inspiration for trying to do a full episode. So yeah.
And it was wonderful when Michael Bell got his little page to read, and then he realized it was the death scene of Sven. That was so good.
Oh, not the oh.
Sven lives.
I love how much has changed from Go Lion to do Voltron. How much they had to edit when you actually watch the two shows back to back, and I'm like, they changed a lot. They really had to edit a lot, especially dealing with death on the series, and the fact that Balto is actually planet Earth in Go Lion, so Yeah, to give Michael Bell the death scene for Sven. Oh my gosh. No, that's funny.
Yeah, I remember sitting at the VIP dinner with some of you, and we were discussing like the deaths, and like in Vehicle Voltron, where a ship sacrifices itself to save the team, and they said, "But they escaped or they lived," and I was like, "Yeah, they didn't make it."
No.
When I actually got to watch Beast Can Go Lion, there was the one episode where Lotor sends this elite squad down to Everest, and they're literally taking anything down that's in front of them. And I'm like, okay, that had to be cut out, because I mean, the difference that a lot of people don't realize is how much has to be taken out in order to show it on the American television series, at least back in the 80s. Now it's a little bit more looser because anime is everywhere. But yeah, when I saw that episode, I'm sitting there at work at my lunch break, like, the fact that they were mowing down anything and everything, it was just like, wow, okay. So yeah.
And they would tell like Nanny and the princess to shut up. It was like, oh my gosh.
Well, and I noticed in this one that Shannon's narration said that all of the soldiers were robots.
Yeah.
So that if any one of them got shot, then it wasn't so bad.
Right.
Yeah, sorry, but that's interesting point because we didn't talk about that earlier. Most of the description that we did, we actually preserved what was in Stan Oliver's script to the extent that we could. We tried to add only where we needed to. And yeah, it was sort of, even the script made a whole point of that in the direction, and it's like, so yeah, that was one of those, especially in the 80s, that very, very fine line, and some of the episodes you'd sit there and go. One of the ones that still surprises me is Fleet of Doom. When Coran actually admits that a fleet didn't make it through, and then Lance jokes about it. And I remember even back then sitting there going, this isn't a US produced special. You essentially said they died without using the word. How did you pull that off?
Is there anything that anybody noticed about when we were filming this and we were doing all the lines and everything that you thought was going to turn out differently than it did in the final product?
I didn't realize there would be video along with it. I thought it was just going to be like War of the Worlds broadcast kind of thing.
Right. So for the people that are listening to this on any podcast listening device, right? You are listening to the podcast and you are listening to it as a radio play. But for those of you that come onto our YouTube channel, you're actually getting to see it like it was an episode. So I wanted to have both versions available to everybody. And I think it plays well whether you're just listening to it or whether you're watching it. I really do think it plays well both ways.
Mark, I think you did like a really good job with editing, because I know you cut out some of my stumbles, like when I think I was like introducing myself as Princess Allura and I kind of stumbled over the word princess and you like made it sound nice.
Yeah, it did. I took care of that stuff. I think there was a couple things that a couple of you did that kind of stumbled over words or something like that, but you corrected yourself and I was able to edit that. No big deal at all.
I think I had fall out tripped.
And we've done that. We've done that many times on the podcast. So trust me, it always happens.
Yeah. There'll be times after an episode where I'll email Mark and say, remember I said this, can you please cut that?
Microphones being passed back and forth that you were able to take out, and that was good.
Yep.
Good.
I think Ricky did an outstanding job for Zarkon, because it really very closely matched, especially when the screen came up with Zarkon, and then it's like, wow, he really did. I didn't catch it much when we were voicing it because I wasn't paying full out attention to it, but once the replay came back, that's when it really came out. So good job, Ricky.
Yeah.
Thanks.
And you did manage to make your Mogor sound different than Zarkon, which was really good because you know, a la Jack Angel, you know, you did quite a good job with that.
I'm just glad I put windscreens on all the microphones. I think that may have helped a little.
Oh yeah, definitely.
It just worked out. They were the right colors for Voltron.
Yeah.
Oh no, you planned it all along, right? Yeah.
Yeah, that's the ticket. No.
A happy coincidence.
I really liked Eric's Lotor, especially when he tells Romelle, "You look just like Princess Allura," because what girl doesn't love hearing that they sound like looking like just somebody else?
Well, at least I didn't say you look like your mom, because that was every woman loves to hear that, you know.
I had always been wondering during watching that episode when Lotor says that in front of Romelle, and I'm thinking to myself, does she even know who Princess Allura is at this point? And wouldn't she say, "Who are you talking about?"
It'd be like, oh, okay, great. Or somebody else.
I hope that's
Thanks, I think.
That's not an awkward introduction at all.
Yeah. So wait a minute. You're only interested in me because I look like somebody else?
Hmm.
No wonder she says, "I hate Lotor."
I can think of a few 100,000 other reasons why she might hate Lotor too, but yeah.
Oh man, I just got to say it was really fun to do that. You know, it was some work setting it up. It was some work editing it together, but it was really fun doing the whole thing with all of you guys and just, you know, being at VoltCon, you feel comfortable because you feel like you're around family. And I hope that helped you guys loosen up a little bit for doing this.
Well, it's not feeling like we're being around family. We are around family.
Yeah, we are.
Yeah, I got to know several of you a bit better this year, and it's like it really just went really well. This was the most fun I've had going to one of these.
And Susan, we've always appreciated you doing our anniversary pictures. So thank you for doing that again. We really appreciate that.
You're very welcome.
Yeah, I just think this year's VoltCon was there was a lot more camaraderie across the whole place, I thought. And it was just really nice to see everybody just being so generous with each other and just, you know, it was just really wonderful.
Yeah, I have to tell you, Eric really helped me out. I had a Starfleet badge for my costume, and it was snagging on the material where the pin goes in. And he saved me and added magnets to the back of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I just wanted to make sure I was okay with ruining the badge first before putting the magnets on. So there's no going back from that.
Yeah, you did excellent. It worked really great.
Good, I'm glad.
This is our 12th anniversary podcast. Have you guys watched all 260 episodes of the podcast?
Yeah. Sure.
Roughly.
I auto-recorded it.
On
Didn't
my
you-
VCR.
You know, you can just get AI to give you a summary of all 260, you know, in a short little paragraph.
It's just not the same.
I got the Cliff Notes version.
Okay.
AI doing Sven like Greg does, I don't think it'd be the same.
No.
Yeah.
You guys should publish a book like Let's Voltron for Dummies or something like that.
I think I'm too dumb to write a book for dummies about the podcast.
Well, what's really great about you guys is that when VoltCon was coming around, you guys introduced VoltCon, the team of VoltCon, and they described who they are so that way we knew what we were getting ourselves into.
Yeah.
And especially during the pandemic, it's like we were nervous to go because everywhere else was shut down. All the conventions were shut down except for VoltCon. So the fact that you guys interviewed them and they said we will have hand sanitizers everywhere and the chairs will be separated a certain amount of feet. Yep.
There it is.
And so it's like that gave us more confidence to show up.
Definitely.
Well,
yeah.
I still have my mask.
I mean, when you think
I've
of
still got a box of the little things we put on the microphones between every
I
panel.
was blown away by that. I contacted my karaoke friends and I was like, "Do you guys have this?" And they're like, "What is it?" I'm like, "Oh, I got to take pictures now."
I just
after
think
every panel, I
about
took those off and sprayed them down.
I just think about how important it was for us to come together like Voltron in the midst of a pandemic like that.
Yeah.
It was so important, and we were able to pull it off.
when you think of
Yeah.
what they've gone through, just to keep that thing together, it's amazing, and it says a lot about Patrick and Kevin and Savannah. It really it means a lot. They're really so great people.
Definitely.
And Voltron is where I found my Voltron family. And, all of you that are on the screen right now, you are part of my family, and I love you all.
Likewise.
Aw,
I tell
thank
people
you.
that there's a family reunion every year. It's a con, but it's a family reunion because I get to see my family.
I know my back gets a little straighter every time I see Nancy because she's got those great hugs, and it's just like
Nancy's hugs are awesome.
that's always good.
So you guys really enjoyed doing this whole Voltron radio play thing. Would you like to do it again next year?
Yes,
Yes,
definitely.
please. Thank you.
Definitely.
So Greg had mentioned that at the end, when we were doing the recording and everything, if everybody wanted to do it again, and you all said yes. And we mentioned also that next year is the 10th anniversary of Voltron Legendary Defender.
Yes, it is.
Yep.
So obviously, there's so many. I mean, there's 78 episodes to choose from. We have to come up with something. Hopefully, we won't know what the theme of VoltCon is until they announce it.
Yeah.
Even if they say it's like the 10th anniversary of VLD or something like that, we'll still have to come up with something that works for all of us and can still be done as a radio play. And then we'll find out just how much they had packed into every episode.
I would also
But-
like to point out next year will also be the 15th anniversary of Voltron Force, will it not?
Yes.
That's true. I was waiting for you to point that out, Natalie, as you did at the con itself. So thank you for that reminder. So we'll have to keep that in the back of our minds as well.
Yeah. So, I mean, I would love to do an episode of every type of Voltron there is, but we can. You guys can help contribute towards any ideas that we have for next year as well. We would appreciate your help.
Well, if you guys decide to do the Space Mall episode, you have
Space
to have,
Mall,
you have to have someone do the ShamWow guy's part. Just like
or the quiz show one.
Oh, the quiz show one. Yeah.
Because that has both sides. It has both King
That's
Zarkon.
true. It has
Yeah.
With Bob.
It has the villains and the good guys. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I actually did a
Right.
cosplay of the guy that runs that episode.
Bob.
Bob, that's it. I did a cosplay of Bob for one of the conventions I went to.
Maybe we can get Bob to do Bob.
Hey.
Well, we've already got Kaepernick. Kaltenecker, I mean.
I do have to tell you that one of my favorite funny episodes was Clear Day.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
I just get a kick out of Clear Day.
I
Clear
really
day, clear day. Yeah.
I really liked some assembly required. That was unique getting to see these people who didn't get along all of a sudden have to turn around getting along, and Lance and Keith. Oh boy. And poor Shiro having to keep it all together somehow.
Yeah. So it would be fun to do something like that. We'll see if we can get permission for that again, right?
Yep. That'll be cool.
Yeah.
Then we'll
Okay.
get Bob involved in it.
Yep.
He can do a voice.
If we do the Voltron show, and Eric, you said you would do Voltron's voice, they did have Voltron speak in that.
Oh boy.
Okay.
True.
Oh
No
boy.
pressure.
The voice
Like I said,
of
I'm usually
Voltron.
seen rather than heard, but I do the stunt acting for Voltron.
Mhm.
I had this crazy like image in my head of like a sock puppet Voltron show. It's like everybody down with the little sock puppets.
Like
And then when it
all the
comes
puppet pals.
Yeah. And then when it came time to show Voltron being formed, like all the puppets just dive down and a curtain opens to reveal Eric in the suit.
Ah,
And then when he forms the
nice.
blazing sword, just reach off screen and just like pull it over.
Maybe do I just redo it in sweatpants and sweatshirt and throw it all together?
Can you imagine if we had you guys dressed as your characters too? You know, I mean, Eric, you would have had to be painted blue, and then when you switched over to Coran, you would have had to go back to your regular skin color.
Yeah, that would have
You
been.
could
It would
you
have
could
been
do
tough.
half and half. Like
Yeah.
Ooh,
Exact same
love
thing.
it.
Like
Turn your
the,
head.
Mask on a stick.
Love it.
just
I
point some
think-
lights at them.
I think I got a good face for radio, though. That's.
So, Greg, thank you for having a backdrop that was, you know, accommodating for this episode.
Yeah, thanks for the kick in the teeth to do that.
That is like the best scene from the episode because it's Bandor Pidge, which is both played by Neil Ross in the same scene,
Yeah.
and then BJ Ward and playing both Romelle and Allura in that scene.
Uh-huh.
It's such a good scene, I swear.
I like to
And
think that it's two princesses and their little brothers.
Yes.
And it's just amazing how the one comes scurrying from the right, the other one comes scurrying from the left, and they come at each other, and they just realize, oh my God, we are from twin planets, and we are twins.
Yep.
Yeah.
And
then-
Big Sisters had to break up the fight.
Like when two dog owners are at the park and they got to break up their angry chihuahuas.
It's just the fact that Bandor has a sword to Pidge and they're both staring like back and forth between the two. Like, wait, I'm seeing double.
Uh-huh. Yeah, that was a great scene. I really had a blast doing all this, and I really want to thank you guys again. This has been a terrific experience overall.
Thanks to you all.
Yeah, thank
You're
you for the
welcome.
opportunity. It was very fun.
Thank you for letting us be a part of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and now you're a part of the 12th anniversary show of the podcast. So
Yay!
Cheers.
so thank you for joining us to celebrate that as well.
Well,
Go, Ricky.
congratulations again.
Yeah, thank you. And we really appreciate it. We appreciate everything that we've ever done with every Voltron fan. There's a lot going of that went around over the past 12 years. We saw so many Voltron fans over the years. So
And you
many.
guys are just so warm and welcoming to everybody.
Yeah, I that's the way the Voltron force would be, right?
Right.
Yep.
That's why when you come to the convention, we start chanting "One of us, one
One
of
of
us."
us.
There's always a convert somewhere.
Yeah. Hey, you don't have to get one of these to be one of us, right?
Yeah, I will get one eventually.
I'll
Mark was holding up a
get you
scarf.
eventually.
Mark was holding up a scarf that Ruth had made for several people at VoltCon. Again, very, very kind. A kind of a Doctor Who Tom Baker inspired scarf in the colors of the 5 Voltron lines. Very, very generous. So, a very kind gift.
Yeah, but say her name right, Greg. It's Ruth Hand.
Yeah, I was wondering whether I should say that.
Yeah,
do-
I would love to hear the story, Cindy.
When the VoltCon did the movie, what was the name of the movie?
Fleet of Doom.
Oh, the one that Kevin did.
The documentary.
Film
I think it was just
Oh, the
Voltron.
yeah.
The
Yeah,
Voltron
Voltron
Force?
The
Documentary.
Voltron.
Right.
Yeah.
Now, what most people, well, people on the East Coast knows, but most people don't know is that wherever I go, I take my mom with me because I refuse. Well, my mom wouldn't behave in a nursing home or anything. So it's like I'm the reason she's young and she's alive. And whenever she has a party, she invites my friends and not hers because hers are old. And so when my mom went to bed already, and they showed the documentary, I think at midnight or something like that, and they showed me in the beginning where my married name is Cindy Hand, and then later on at the end of the movie, they interviewed my mom. Instead of putting her married name on, they put my name as in Ruth Hand. And the room was silent. So when her name popped up, I burst out laughing and I saw Kevin panicking.
Oh, no.
Oh my God, I'm so sorry. I was like, dude, leave it. He was like, I'll have it fixed. I'll have it changed. I was like, leave it. So the next morning I told my mom and she's like, oh my God, what did you say? I said, I told him to leave it. She's like, thank you.
Didn't her name badge say Ruth Hand this year?
Yes.
Yeah.
What happened was that the next morning after the movie, when she came down to the dealer's room, Tiffany was the first to say, good morning, Mrs. Hand. And everybody else throughout the rest of the time called her Mrs. Hand. So what happened was that this year, Kevin contacted me and said he screwed up my mom's badge. I was like, okay. He's like, I need to fix it. Tell me what to do. I said, put my last name on it. He's like, are you sure? And I was like, oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So what happened was that he gave me 2 of her badges, one with her real last name and one with my last name. So I had them facing the opposite ways, and I handed my mom's badge with her name on it. And she was like, oh, okay. And then when we distributed the scars as thank you, as gifts and everything, I turned around and I was like, the funniest part is that my mom has her name and she doesn't even know it. And she's like, what do you mean? So I took her badge and I flipped it and it says Ruth Hand, and she went nuts.
Well, I think she was already there to begin with, but
Oh yeah. Listen, I got my brains from my grandmother because my mom still has hers.
But
Well, thank you for telling us the story, Cindy. That's awesome. Susan, did you have something you wanted to say?
Oh yeah, I had a question for Greg. He mentioned like the recycling bin being happy getting all those scripts, and I think it was your last podcast you showed that you still had yours with the smudge on it. You were wondering how much it would cost. So I was wondering, for those of us who kept ours like in the pristine shape,
Yes.
if that might go for a pretty penny someday.
Is it autographed?
Not yet.
Nice.
Let's see. What do they call the money in Legendary Defender? GAC.
GAC.
So I'd say each script is worth at least 1/10 of a GAC. How's that? Whatever that is.
we have to put them in plastic and let them not be touched for about 40 years, and then maybe they
There
put
we
the
go.
whole gag.
There we go.
It'll be like a.
As I said, if we do this again next year, do we all wear sunglasses going into it? Just,
Must be incognito,
I love
so our fans don't like go crazy over us.
Actors. Man.
Yeah.
Be signing autographs as you go in.
Well, you know how many actors it takes to change a light bulb?
How many?
One. The actor holds the light bulb and the world revolves around him.
Love it.
You guys are great.
I really like that I made Eric crack up. And I loved getting to do the evil laugh. I practiced once to make sure I would be able to do an evil laugh before coming to VoltCon. So getting to actually apply it to the script was awesome.
I was just going to say a particular thanks to Bob, not only for allowing us to do this, but also for the announcement that he made Saturday about doing mentioning my Mousetron to the director of the Voltron movie, and then announcing that they were going to actually make one. And that's pretty cool to have to be inspired to make a prop for just something that gets thrown together really quickly.
Nice.
That really meant a lot to me, and I'm very thankful to him for that.
And you got it there down in your screen. I see a little bit of it, right?
Yeah.
Yep, there he is.
There he is.
Yeah.
Aww.
Mousetron.
Mousetron.
Love it.
X-47.
Yeah, I was gonna say, anybody remember X name? X-47.
Yep. Yep.
I'm excited to see if it makes the movie, what it would look like. So that would be, hopefully it'll make the movie.
Maybe it'll be one of those Easter eggs that you have to look out very carefully for.
Yeah.
Or a post-credit scene.
That would be nice. Maybe I should mention to Bob, like, hey, if it goes in the movie, just put my name in the credits, okay? Just please, one little spot.
Put me in catering.
Yeah, that's fine.
Have your IMDb credit.
Yeah, there you go.
I don't need more IMDb credits. Oh.
Yeah, so we're not planning on releasing this publicly or commercially. Oh man. But yeah, this is the debut and the one and only time everybody will get to see it is on the 12th anniversary podcast of Let's Voltron, the official Voltron podcast. So make sure that you tell everybody about it because this cast worked very hard on that episode.
That's right.
It took a whole half an hour, one shot, one line, go.
Yep. Tell all your friends, tell your family, tell your enemies to watch or listen to Let's Voltron.
And maybe next year you can be a part of our radio play reenactment if we are allowed to do it again.
We'll see.
I
hope
do hope so.
Okay.
And it would be nice if it was from Voltron Legendary Defender.
Yes.
Okay.
Agreed.
All right. We'll see if we can make it happen. We made this happen. We could do it again, right?
Yes, you can.
Yep.
I mean, that's how Harry Potter knew he could do the Patronus, right? Because he had already done it, right?
Yep. See, we came together like Voltron and made it happen.
Right. That's right.
There we go.
That's going to do it for us for Let's Voltron, the official Voltron podcast. I want to thank our whole cast. I want to start with our narrator, Shannon Muir.
Let's Voltron.
I also want to thank Zarkon and Mogor, Ricky Lile.
Let's Voltron.
Also thanking Prince Lotor and Coran, Eric Stocker.
Let's Voltron.
Also thanking Haggar and Allura, Susan Caraway.
Let's Voltron.
Also thanking Bandor and Arena Robeast, Dani DeWald.
Let's Voltron.
Also want to thank Romelle and Hunk, Nancy Terselic.
Let's Voltron.
Also thanking Keith and King Kova, Marika Levine.
Let's Voltron.
Also thanking Pidge and Avok, Natalie Sikes.
Let's Voltron.
Also thanking our Lance, Cindy Hand.
Let's Voltron.
And of course, we don't want to go without thanking once again our Drak, Hann Leach. Thank you, Hann Leach. And we'll see you all next year on
Let's Voltron.
Bandor, who holds a sword.
I don't know who you are. You better start talking. I don't know what to talk about. How about sports or the weather? Real funny. I bet you're a spy.
From opposite sides, Allura and Romelle run towards the corner.
Pidge, are you all right?
Bandor, what's happening?
The two princesses stop just in front of each other. They face each other in surprise, yet almost as if they recognize each other. Lance, Keith, and Hunk watch from down the hall, close enough to see what is happening. Hunk and Pidge react.
She looks like Allura's twin sister.
I'm glad I'm wearing my glasses.
Allura breaks the princess's stunned silence.
You must be the princess of planet Polas.
I'm Romelle.
I'm Princess Allura of planet Eris.
Keith reacts as Bandor recovers from his own surprise.
They're almost cousins. The resemblance is hard to believe.
Hey, guess what? I think we're surrounded.
Standing among the Doom robots, Haggar and her cat look up toward the window.
You've done well, my pet. You'll get a tasty reward.
Just then, Mogor and a squad of Doom robots appear in the corridor, surprising Romelle, Bandor, and the Voltron force.
There they are. Fire!
The Doom robots in the Voltron Force exchange laser fire.
Hey team, follow me. We gotta get to Voltron.
Go! Specially trained and sent by the Alliance to bring back
Voltron, defender of the universe!
Everyone who played a part, please stand and bow.
Yes!